Greetings and salutations, friends. We're 8 minutes early. Yes. That's how we're gonna put it. 8 minutes early.
Greetings and
salutations, friends. We're 8 minutes early. Yes. That's how we're gonna put it.
That is gonna take a while to get fucking used to. Alright, sorry about that, chat. You're gonna hear duplicates there for just a second. I need to mute that computer. I was just like,
You're
what
also
the fuck?
streaming your Streamlabs as well.
Wait a minute. Looks over at the other PC. I now understand why it's streaming that computer. Hold on a sec. We have to go here.
Kyla's having a hard time today.
Okay, so there is actually a bit of a change. So yes, you can actually blame me today. You get that excuse. I have a 2 PC stream setup, so some new stuff, which is quite nice. Our quality of streams are going to be pretty good on gaming, but let's fix this real quick. So we got to capture. We need to copy this. Yeah, we need that. How do I copy it? Copy. Then we go to back to ArchCast and we paste it.
Look at that. Close, anyways. We're lacking the models this time, but...
Listen, it's coming together. Just need to fix
We're getting there. Still better than GB News.
Almost there. Oh, it's too short now. Okay, is that... I think it's a little tiny. A little bigger. Look at that. Look at that. No, don't come through there. Yes! It's not quite pixel perfect, but I'll fix that later. We're missing 2 pixels. Perfect.
The struggles of technology, chat. It is a complicated business.
Remind me to do that for our roleplay overlay. Because by then I'll have forgotten. Be like, why isn't it showing the right screen? I have to do that for that as well.
Oh, I'm sure we'll remember. Not at all. Alright, so today's main topic is quite obviously going to be Mark Zuckerberg's great new initiative. The relaunching of the internet as he plans it, a reimagining of the internet, Meta, which, I mean, on the one hand, I guess it's a name that says something about his ideas, that he wants to have a meta narrative about the internet. On the other hand, it's also a kind of awful name, and it goes well with beta, which I've already seen many memes of.
I like his dumb little smile he released alongside it with like, he's got this, I don't know why, but Mark Zuckerberg has this he's not good with people face. Like he comes off as very plastic in terms of his personality. He's very disingenuous, you know? So whenever he smiles or anything like that, it gives this eerie vibe of like uncanniness where it's like, is he really even human?
He's probably just a massive autist, like a lot of these people who just did all of the tech stuff, because love him or hate him, you gotta realize that Mark Zuckerberg is one of the most groundbreaking individuals in modern day history, which says something about modern day history as well, but
listen,
well, details.
Not every individual who's groundbreaking is good. You know, we had Hitler, you know, that was groundbreaking, but that was also pretty bad. So, it revolutionized the world, changed the world. So did Lenin. Like, there are good people and there are bad people. They can't all be perfect. You know what I mean?
Positive and negative innovators.
There you go.
A new terminology.
See? We totally didn't just sort of line him up with Lenin and fucking Hitler there.
No. Though, well, we'll see how this works out, I guess.
Do you think this
I will
work
also
out?
say, like, the idea is not necessarily a bad one at all, and it's a very bold idea as well. Facebook is currently getting under a lot of fire due to the various hearings, for example, being universally covered by the media in absolute lockstep. There was also the recent Breitbart reveal that apparently a bunch of these journalists had been coordinating their releases of the Facebook documents, making it all sound an awful lot like a big old frame job, honestly. If there is a time to rebrand, this is probably it. There's also the ambition of it as well. Like, well, he wants to remake the internet, practically, in his own special little fashion, with its own special little interface. He wants to create the Internet 2.0 and be in control over it, which, as a business move, I mean, if he manages to pull it off, that will make him by far the most powerful individual on the face of the goddamn globe. But I don't know. It sounds like an awful lot of pie in the sky nonsense, along the lines of what we were fed every time, basically, there's a VR headset. It's like, oh, this time it'll be super immersive and shit, and it's always just strapping a goddamn screen to your face, really.
Yep, I mean, that is the reality. Like, even VR, you strap a screen to your face. Like, sure, it's more augmented, and we've actually finally made steps to improve it, where it's actually starting to succeed, but it's got a long ways before it reaches that ideal, Star Trek holodeck situation where the world is touchable, interactable.
Oh god, yes. We're definitely nowhere even remotely close to that, and yet that seems to kind of be the idea that Zuck is going for here. And I don't think technology is anywhere near his ambitions. Alternatively, of course, it could also simply just be complete and utter bullshit, couldn't it? Marketing speech to be like, hey, this will be amazing, and then it releases, and it's Facebook with a shit VR overlay.
Yep. I'm going to open up the image that the link you post comes with, because this image that's embedded is quite, like, you can see the disillusionment, I think, here. Where it's like, look, it's the entire universe, because it's got the different planets.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is how it'll be. I don't know about that, actually.
It's like, look, they're standing on their porch and they can access the universe. It's like, I get what they're going for. It's like, wow, they've unified everything to such a degree. But imagine like you mentioned, the levels of control. Like, you talk about 84 Orwellian fear right there if you want to go there. Oh.
It's trying to be a little bit of that whole, like, it's trying to push that whole holodeck vibe. But at the same time, this is Facebook. A company that literally lives off gathering all of your data. Would you like to live in a digital environment that Facebook has created? Would you like to trust Zuckerberg with that?
I mean, social media is a powerful platform and has changed the way we've been able to interact and find people. Finding people now is so much easier than finding people before. Like, finding random people, because I remember before, like, Facebook and Twitter existed when I was younger, like, you felt isolated. You were like, there was your bubble in your town and that was it. Now I can find anybody on the globe anywhere, but it comes with its own problems, because people sell information, people try to cancel each other. Like, it's a mixed bag. It's brought a lot of good, it's brought a lot of bad.
Absolutely. And to be fair too, Zuckerberg is the least of the current day social media giant evils. Like, if anyone was going to reinvent the internet, I'd rather it be Zuckerberg than Google, or God help us all, Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey. See, Mark Zuckerberg's got this uncanny, like, he's maybe higher on the autistic spectrum or something like that kind of personality. Jack Dorsey's got this, like, he's a douchebag persona.
Dorsey's crazy. Like, I swear to God, he is actually genuinely
nuts,
batshit insane.
Isn't Dorsey the one that wears the tinfoil hat?
Yes, and recently he's also taken up the style of a Taliban war leader with a massive beard. And to be fair, the Taliban won, so I guess.
Listen, fashion goes to the victor normally.
That's true. It's very much so true. Because at least Zuckerberg, right? Zuckerberg has always struck me like a bit of an idealist, often a blind idealist that doesn't see what his hands are actually doing right now, as he keeps going on about how I don't want to be the arbiter of truth. I want freedom of speech. And to be fair, he has more freedom of speech on Facebook than Twitter has, or YouTube for that matter. But he's never quite managed to pursue his ideals to the logical extent of them. But still, I'd rather, if we're gonna have to live in the pods and eat the bugs, I'd rather live in the pod of the person who means well rather than the actually evil bastards. So, small mercies and all that.
Question is, means well, right? Is that gonna end well?
Well, you know what they say, the road to hell is paved with
good intentions.
Indeed.
Oh, terrible.
And on that point as well, I'll send you another link here, because this came out quite recently as well. And this ties in with a Breitbart reveal as well, where they showed us that a bunch of various journalists had been sitting around in their own little cozy chat rooms, coordinating the release of the Facebook documents. Facebook is absolutely under attack right now by the mainstream machine, and as much as it makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist, this shit doesn't just happen. We know Silicon Valley talks to each other, we know the CEOs talk to each other, and now we know journalists are talking to each other as well, coordinating all of this. The fact is, Zuckerberg does not have a whole lot of friends in Silicon Valley at the moment, despite the fact that Facebook as a company is infested by leftists. But Zuck is not to their extent anyways, which is what we see here in this Reclaim the Net article, where there were apparently large-scale discussions within Facebook on how to ban and coordinate the removal of the right-wing sources like Breitbart, for example. No indication of any such discussion being made about removal of left-wing news aggregates, mind you, as well.
Yeah. I don't know. With that, like, again, this touches back, even hypothetically speaking, Zuckerberg is an idealist, and he does actually mean what he says about free speech. The issue is if his underlings are this rampantly out of control, does it really matter?
That's the question. And there's also the fact that if you've been following the mainstream shit media for a little while now, you'll also have noticed a very clear narrative on this. And this is the personification of that I just sent you. Facebook problem isn't its brand, it's Mark Zuckerberg. It's the same with the Haugen meetings as well, or the hearings. She keeps saying, oh, no, Facebook isn't the problem. We shouldn't endeavor to reduce Facebook's power. We shouldn't endeavor to remove Facebook as monopoly or take away any of their influence. What we need to do is get Mark Zuckerberg out of control of it. And if Silicon Valley doesn't like him, makes me warm to him.
He becomes, the thing is, we've got no real, the thing is, Facebook in the hands of just Silicon Valley is bad. It'd be better if it's in Zucky Pucky's hand, because at least Zucker's, I don't know. At least he's not them. It's not a high bar, but it's a bar that we can set. And we can reach it, so that's nice.
And the question then is, again, I believe old Zuck here probably does have some good intentions when it comes to this. I really do. But is he willing to do what is necessary to make those go through? Because at this point, he's going to have to basically slash and burn Facebook and purge it to the ground and rebuild it from the ground up, which, incidentally, Meta, a complete rebrand of the entire Facebook organization, complete restructure? Who knows? Maybe this is his move to redistribute power internally. Hmm. Overly optimistic, perhaps, but if he was to do it, it's probably how you would.
I mean, at least you're going to slash and burn. You're building something new.
It'll be interesting to see. It might actually be the move that to restructure the company. Might not. Honestly, I don't know if. It's the thing, right? Zuckerberg does seem to be rather zealous about the things he wants to push, the ideas that he does like. I wouldn't put it past him to go full ham on a pet project like this, but at the same time, tearing down Facebook and rebuilding it is going to be a pretty giant endeavor.
Well, I don't think you'd tear down Facebook while you were doing this. I think you'd build it alongside it, and then you'd merge it into it. You know what I mean?
A separate power structure, kind of. When you merge it in and you move all of the problematic individuals to small departments.
Well, you're also assuming a lot. You're assuming they're actually going to do that.
That's true.
They might not actually. They might just integrate it. Because again, even building a new foundation, you're probably going to see a lot of the same people cross over. I don't think there's going to be any real change in terms of power structure, to be honest. Other than simply it's going to be a reorganization. People will probably lose their jobs, though.
Very possible. Still, you gotta kind of assume that after being the target of constant media offensives now for the last few weeks, that he might finally be waking up. I seem to be under attack. Perhaps something should be done.
You say that. But at the same time, he might be one of those people that's like, I made it big this way, and he'll go crawling back to them.
Very possible. Very possible. Regardless, the whole meta thing will be very interesting to see how it turns out. I kinda hope he succeeds, because I would love the idea of this meta universe, actual VR. The fact that it would be recording every flick of the finger I commit to is a disturbing proposition, but nevertheless, in comparison to because you see, this whole restructuring of the internet, Kyle, that's not necessarily a new idea. There are other people who have come to much the same conclusion as Mark Zuckerberg has.
You mean Mark Zuckerberg? Pretty original joke right there.
I question this.
You don't actually, though.
Our dear leader, or what does he call himself? Winnie the Pooh? Yes, I believe that was it.
Endearing.
He has had some ideas of this line as well, with China stating that it will build a civilized internet. Oh yes.
They can't build fucking skyscrapers, let alone build internet infrastructure. I know this because have you seen how their skyscrapers are actually built? Like,
a fun fact, they didn't figure out how to build ballpoint pens until a few years ago.
Yeah, the problem with China is China's days of innovation ended like 2,000 years ago. Over. China can't invent or build or create anything that is stable. They basically have a culture of copy and steal other people's technological advancements, but they generally do it to such a piss poor degree that they're laughable at best. They try to put on this big old tiger feel, but they're more of a paper tiger than anything. Like, just looking at this picture, like, the cheap wood in the background pains me the most, as you can almost see the paint flaking off. The lead
But the key thing is, of course, China doesn't have to rebuild the entire internet. They just have to, find a segment and kind of slice off a portion. Like, this is ours now.
Yeah, good luck to that. China, I don't really put much stock into everything. They rattle the saber, they try to act tough, but when it comes down to it, they're just a piece of paper. Nothing more than Chinese bandits.
Chinese bandits. What a cruel and racist term.
But that's true. An apt term.
They might be very effective bandits, though. That's the frightening part. Because could China do this? The interesting thing is, as well, we have been seeing more and more regulators stating that yes, the technology giants does need regulation, and I entirely agree. Because right now they are the arbiters of literal reality and truth. With Google's ownership of the search market, like 90% on smartphones, they are absolutely in a position to dictate reality straight up, and most people would probably just buy it as well. But what's the problem with that? Regulation is all well and good until you start thinking about who's going to be writing that legislation. And here is China going like, oh yes, we need to be very careful about big tech. Don't worry, we're going to put in place ways to secure the moral well-being of our people. Ah, yes.
Yeah, I don't see China. I see China collapsing within our lifespan, honestly. Now I see massive economic upheaval from that, but I don't think they're going to last much longer, to be honest.
Well, I'll have to see. Their economy is bubbly, shall we say?
Like their paint behind him, it's bubbling up. Oh, so cheap.
Bubbly and potentially sad. They are still one of the world's largest economies, though. And if they wanted to, I don't know, like Google has managed to take a stand against China for a while now. We can hope it continues, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Valve has already betrayed us in this regard, in that they created their own Valve client for China, their own Steam China variant. Valve gets way too much praise for what they do. Like, yes, Valve does cool shit, absolutely, but they're also a Chinese puppet state.
Well,
much like Epic,
they're dipping into the Chinese market, which everybody wants, because the Chinese market is real and there is serious money behind it. But the problem is in my mind, is all the stipulations, all the little restrictions, and the fact that I get why these corporations do it. Valve does it because if they don't do it, then the Chinese equivalent copies will actually just make their own Valve. Versus doing this prevents that from actually occurring.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute Valve backs out is the minute China just let copy paste Steam, but added China in front of it. That's the problem with China. Like, you make your own IP. Like, let's say the IP I'm working on right now, right? China will resell that stuff in their market, and people will print that stuff over there, and there's nothing legally I can do about them to get them to stop that. Because China does not respect U.S. law. They don't respect the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, at all. So they don't care about anything. They'll sell anyone's stuff, and generally they don't give a shit. Now, that's not to say that the individuals aren't actually reachable, because after working with the Chinese, at least individuals, when it comes to copyright like stuff and stuff like that, sometimes you get some headway because they actually are trying to impress the Western audience or Western people. But by and large, it's a big middle finger every single time.
Well, see, that's the interesting thing. I know a few people who've done business in China, and they do maintain copyright insofar as it is beneficial for them. Because the thing is, you can't attract all of these big Western companies to China unless you can guarantee the integrity of their product. Like, they would never start making consoles in China unless they had at the very least, unofficial reassurance that the Chinese government would not allow Xbox China to be built separately by another company in China. The thing is just they have a very different sort of copyright system, in that their copyright system is enforced by local commissars.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. China talks a lot of big talk all the time, but I've never seen them do anything, because if they did anything, they'd just collapse.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. If they're gonna do anything, it'll probably be within the next 4 years, due to recent of leadership woes in certain other major nations.
Don't worry, we have 3 years now.
Uh, 4.5 or 3.5, but yeah. It'll be a thing, but a civilized internet. I think a civilized internet. You know what? Here's the thing, Carl. Yes.
Imagine how
There will be
useless the
some.
internet
There
will
will
be.
be some minor problems with submitting ourselves to Chinese rules.
Oh,
Some
here
minor
we go
problems
again.
here and there. Yes, that is true. But they are also purging the feminists and leftists in their own country. So I mean,
I'd rather endure a feminist than be under Chinese occupation.
I don't know, Kyle. I'm 50-50 on that one. It could go either
a
way.
feminist can easily be muted, blocked, or just simply ignored. The Chinese overlord with the gun to your back of your head, it's a little bit difficult to ignore that.
Again, I don't know, Kyle. I'm very
These
much so
are-
up in the air on this one.
I'll take my modern, cringy ass, sweaty, smelly SJWs over the Chinese government any day. Because at least you can beat the ever-living shit out of them.
There you have it, chance. Kyle admits to being pro SJW.
Arch is like, he's like, my spine
awesome.
is gelatinous as he bends 90 degrees backwards to fucking make that argument. He's like, whoa.
I will very much so dislike learning Mandarin, however, because it's a silly language and it makes very little sense to me, so.
Oh, good.
Still, one does what one must, Kyle. One does what one must. Speaking of doing what one must, an interesting little thing has popped out as well, which is absolute horseshit, but nevertheless. YouTube claims that 2020 was the biggest year ever for them in terms of gaming content. How do you feel about that statement, Kyle, running a gaming stream?
Wait a minute. YouTube says it was upping our game. Gaming YouTube is evolving, and here's how we're evolving too. Hold on. Let's see what... Oh my god, it's YouTube's official blog? I didn't even know they had one.
Oh god, yes.
800 billion gaming-related views. Are you gonna finally revive YouTube gaming?
Kind of.
Are you gonna, just as I say it painfully, because like right when I got back into YouTube, they're like, and poor support, and I'm like, Thing is, like, gaming content on YouTube is huge. The gaming industry is huge. It's no longer a niche thing, and hasn't been niche for like the last 2 decades. But the thing is, it's such a massive market that you think there'd be the gaming community would get its own space for its each respective subgenre, and they did on YouTube gaming when they initially launched it, until they really stopped supporting it.
Well, the problem is, yes, there is a large market. 800 billion gaming-related video views. Now, the term gaming here is a rather broad concept. They explain later on that gaming is basically anything related to gaming. So, gaming animations, animations about a game, like those ridiculous Among Us animations that was all the rage for a while. Gaming commentary. Theoretically, what we're doing right now is related to those 800 billion views. So,
Yep.
Again, gaming is a very flexible term in this case, but again, that's potentially a large audience. The problem is, with the algorithm set up the way it currently is, almost all of those views, I guarantee you, are gathered around a handful of top creators. I mean, how many views does PewDiePie alone get? Like, how big of a chunk of those 800 billion views does he get alone?
That's a good question, but I don't think it's 800 billion views. Honestly, that's a ballpark number. I would imagine it's probably higher than that. Because
Let's just have
views,
a super quick look here, right? So
right?
PewDiePie, just from Social Blade. So bear in mind in that case, it's going to be complete and utter scattershot, right? Because
Yep.
it's often ballparky, but meh.
It's all over the place, yeah.
He has like 27 trillion views total. Like he's getting 2 to 3 to 4 to 9 million views per day. Per day. So let's say the lowest one, right? And let's say not all of it's gaming content, million views a day. So PewDiePie alone grabs up 360 odd million of those views right there. That is one content creator.
Yeah, it's fairly big. But to be fair, he's a special exception because he's fucking PewDiePie. Like, you literally have to put the word fucking in front of PewDiePie because he's fucking PewDiePie. He's literally God when it comes to YouTube.
Absolutely, I do agree, but there are a lot of very, very large YouTubers like him now, particularly in the gaming sector as well. I would not be surprised at all to learn that the majority of those views comes from 1-2% maybe of the actual gaming creators.
Thing is, the fact that they're going to be putting more attention on this actually is a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Like they're talking 10 ways to monetize YouTube. Now, it's important to note that there have been massive improvements when it comes to monetization of YouTube. Before there was nothing.
yes.
Now there are ways to actually make livings off of YouTube. And YouTube has realized that they can't afford to pay content creators to make a living, even the smaller ones. They can't. Like they're just generating less and less money like as time goes on. Or they're sending less and less money. But we're still getting ad revenue money, right? But they're making new ways for smaller content creators to actually be able to sort of sustain themselves. This is actually good. They need to increase this. They need to focus more on the memberships, though. Like right now, I get a fair bit from YouTube members, but the problem is it's hard to give them stuff because there's very little stuff I can actually do on my end to create custom, like, stickers or things for them to have. I can give them like 8 emojis. That's horseshit. So, let me give them more. I could easily make more like stuff for my audience. I can triple if not quadruple it on my own. I don't need YouTube's help to do it. But the thing is, if they just put more effort into that, not only ways to monetize, good, putting more interest into the gaming genre again, that's a good thing. Because honestly, like when YouTube gaming was at its peak, like everybody was doing the gaming stuff. They were actually a lot of channels actually benefiting from that because the YouTube gaming thing is actually pretty good. Some people are like, it's curated. No, not really. It was mostly an algorithm thing. So it's all by bots. So once you started getting on that gaming algorithm back when it was in its heyday, you saw a lot of little new gaming channels just boom from that. So if they actually want to give it proper love again and actually develop the gaming side of YouTube again, that would be good. That would be very good for me.
No, it would be good for everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
If gaming were to actually become a thing again on YouTube, that would be good. Because right now, it is just not a thing. The algorithm loathes gaming content right now. Unless you're amongst the top percent, you are not going to see very good views for gaming related content. And even then, you look at the biggest gaming channels out there. You look at the PewDiePies, you look at the Markiplies, the top cream of the cream, and they're still only mobilizing a very small percentage of their audience for gaming related videos. And again, these are the most privileged of the privileged, the ones being pushed the most by the algorithms, the ones getting the most impressions, the most new views, and you still see a surprisingly small amount of interest for the amount of views they claim they have. They really do need a lot more cross-pollination to... Because the thing is, too, right? This is a finite resource here. You're going to have content creators for so long before they retire, before they don't bother, before they move on to other things, etc. And I think they've done a good job with the monetization that you mentioned, because that will push that back a lot. But it's also the monetization. See, I've got a lot of complaints about it. I like premium. Premium is good. I wish they would make it more. I wish they'd focus way more on premium, because premium is one of the best ways of earning money for a YouTuber. We get so much more per click from a YouTube Red subscriber than from anything else. But YouTube doesn't make it worthwhile. There should be free movies coming with premium. YouTube has tons of movie deals. You can buy for like $1, for God's sake.
They could do
give people a free movie.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So Amazon Prime, I've got Prime because I live out in the middle of the sticks, and I need it for shipping like electronical parts, because I ain't going to Minneapolis, not after. But so there's that. And so on my Amazon Prime thing, they rotate out music, they rotate out audiobook stuff, and they rotate out movies that or not. I don't know about audiobooks. I know they give you lots of free credits for books, but they also rotate out movies and TV shows that are on Prime. I watched pretty much all the Star Trek TV shows for free. Well, not for free, but as part of the subscription, because they're all on there. And I was like, I was curious about Star Trek, and I wanted to see what it was. And so I watched them all. I'm on Deep Space Nine now. I've watched them all from the beginning all the way up to there. And so all it would take is simply them to do the same thing. Basically just do those TV shows and movies and do the same like rotation of like, this is free right now, and then next this will be free. And then by being a YouTube Red member, you can buy movies and shows on YouTube for discounted prices as well, So you get a deal from it too. Like, there's so much they could do to promote YouTube Red. And I think they should, because if they did promote YouTube Red and more people would actually use YouTube Red, content creators would start generating more revenue across the board. Not just the big ones, but the little ones too. And all of a sudden, YouTube becomes a lot more sustainable, and the amount of like user-made content can skyrocket as well. Because that's also a huge money maker for YouTube. Everyone is contributing content. We've contributed content to their platform.
Yep, more for folks on that would be lovely. Super chats are another great income source, and they do at least provide some value in commentary and responses from the personality.
They could reduce the percentage they take though a little. 30% is steep,
but 30% for presenting a text file in a colorful background is theft.
Like, I think
actual theft.
Here's a reasonable price, YouTube. 10%. 10% is fair, because you're also taking our ad revenue as well. So 10%, a flat 10% of all of our ad revenue. Fine. Fair. But 30%, like, that's just too steep, honestly. And we're putting in a lot of the back-breaking work here.
It's pretty insane. Super stickers is just a joke. It's like,
I hate those.
Pay everything you do for a super chat, but don't get a response because you just send a picture. It's dumb.
I mean, it's an option. If people want to use, I've seen people use them because they don't have anything to say, but they want to just support your channel. I'd say let them have that, but still.
I mean, yeah, but it should have been at least the option to have a message along with it.
Oh yeah, it should be able to do
super
both.
Thanks is just a give money to eThought button. That is literally all it is.
What the fuck is? I've never seen a super thank before.
It's only given to select channels, and we're not amongst that class of people now. Don't worry.
Okay. So I think we've been giving YouTube too many head pats. So it's time to switch gears here. Fuck you, YouTube. God damn it, you lock us out of things. So I'm a relatively small channel at 6,000 subs, but I have a massive viewer retention for my size, which is actually incredible for being so tiny. But the thing is, one thing that I've noticed, right, is people that have they keep raising limits, like, oh, you need 10,000 subscribers to get the merchandise button. Well, our channel is one of those exceptions. Sure, tons of little tiny channels don't have access or don't invest as much resources into the quality of our streams like we do, but we do. We have high quality art. We have high quality animations. We have all these things, and I even have merchandise and special shirts designed by our art team. And I can't put merchandising links or embed them like the big boys can, the 10,000 subscribers can, because they just simply turn off that feature for little channels. And that's just my issue. One of the issues I have for channels that are smaller than me, like they have to have a minimum of like 1,000 views and then a minimum of this amount of things before they get access to other tools. Like, that's before my time, because when I started doing it, like, I had access to pretty much everything. I never really got locked out of monetization ever because I was always meeting the marks with viewer retention and times. But for people that were smaller than me, they weren't making the mark, but they're still trying to do it, you know? And they locked them out of that. Not just locked them out of the monetization, but locked them out of the streaming, locked them out of other, like, tools they don't get access to. I don't know about the streaming, but I know the other tools they don't get access to, and that's bullshit, in my opinion. Because now it's even harder for if you're not connected like me or, you know, or you, like, you're just, and you already have an established base, like, you're just this tiny little potato. Like, what are you gonna do? That's bullshit. And they should make those tools more accessible for smaller channels. And I'm absolutely agitated by the fact that bigger channels never talk about that. It's absolutely disgusting, in my opinion, because it's no wonder why we don't see any new little channels blow up. It's almost impossible for them to make it.
And even then, even if you meet the metrics, you still need to be on YouTube's good boy list. I can't have merchandise on the Arch channel because I'm not on the good boy list.
What? Okay, see, there's another fucking issue. See, I just thought you never added the merchandise button because you didn't want to. But now I know that they just fucking block you. That's bullshit. It's not their business to to get involved in that. We're making them money, and then they have the audacity to be like, "Well, thank you for your service and all the money," and then they kick you in the balls and they piss on your head while you're fucking keeled over. Like, that's basically what they're doing. Well, they're taking our 30%. Like, Christ, if you're gonna do that, we might as well like get the whole thing.
And last few as well, membership's not a bad idea. I'll probably enable it again on this channel eventually because we have more of a lively chat here. Ticketing again is just it's a barrier to entry thing, which it's an option, but I hate it. Brand Connect is let us take a percentage by connecting you to brands, which is also a terrible idea. Do not let YouTube run your brand marketing at all, because if you end up on the bad boy list, you will lose contact with all of your potential sponsors. And finally, funds. Now, I see you already spotted.
I scrolled down to the bottom and I was like, we need to talk about that because that's just funny.
Yes, because there are YouTube funds, that's true, but they're locked to being the correct skin color or making the correct type of content. There was a $100 million YouTube fund that was exclusive to people with, again, the correct skin color, not the people who weren't born wrong, like you and I, unfortunately.
This is YouTube's racism against white creators, okay? YouTube has racist policies, and we are actively discriminated against, not just for our beliefs, but for our skin tone as well. This is, again, I'm touching back to the whole fucking YouTube treats us like fucking dog shit. Not only are we put in a little fucking, like, Auschwitz box, but we're also fucking, like, they take our fucking money, they take everything else, and then they, like, piss on you, and they lock you out of features, and then they fucking, like, and they're like, oh, you're not black enough. Fuck you. It's like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Like, for all YouTube has done for me, it's given me a lot of... Shut the fuck up, Archie. Quit reminding them. I did not say that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. But for all the fucking goddamn things they've taken from us, like, it has given us a lot of opportunities. But they actively, like, they fuck us out of everything. Like, they treat us like dog shit. They don't treat us fairly. There's no equal treatment as a content creator. We are literally the Untermensch. Arch is locked out of the fucking goddamn merchandise button. And now I've got to ask myself, if I do make that 10K mark, am I gonna get locked out of my button too? For being associated with Arch? Like, that's horseshit. Arch shouldn't be locked out from that. No one should be. Everyone should have that feature enabled. Taking that away from somebody's wrong.
YouTube has become a hint less censorious over the last 2 or so years. And it's primarily because of what happened to Patreon. And they realized that they could potentially get sued for this stuff. There's been a lot of lawsuits happening over this. Many of them are still going through the system. Some have been denied, some have moved forward. And there's many things that you could absolutely point to as well. Now, they're located in America, which makes things a little bit more complicated. But for example, having a grant that goes exclusively to a certain skin color, in America, they could probably get away with it. In UK or even in Norway, that would be illegal. But since they are getting away with it, I'm presuming they've done their research. But even then, it would be nice to have that kind of power, I suppose. All we really need to do is just simply, again, if all of you guys now, just go to subscribe to Kyle's channel to get him 10k, he will play Amnesia and in the nude.
And then have a heart attack and then die and live a short life. At least I won't have back problems, so there's that.
And you'll be able to sell a bit of merchandise while you're doing it.
Hold on, I'm still mad about this. Like, this shit pisses me off, because, like, YouTube is a racist company. Like, fuck you if you're not like them. If you were, you know, Scandinavian, if you're, you know, Slavic, like, they don't care about you. They don't care about anybody. Like, if you're not black or, like, some weird, obscure, like, minority that exists, that they're just not gonna fucking, like, they're gonna give you special preferential treatment over everyone else. It's like, I didn't choose to be born white, yet I'm punished and actively cursed for it. That's not fair.
It is your privilege.
It's not right. And I think they should definitely have to pay reparations for this now. I would like $8 billion. Tap, tap. Oh, it's so fucking annoying, though.
Nevertheless, it would be very, very nice to see a return to focus on gaming on YouTube. I will say that. I would love to see that. Though see, the thing is, too, when we say this, we're making these retarded assumptions as if we will be somehow included in this.
It's like...
Very stupid thing to assume.
I know. Because I'm like, yeah, they'll treat everyone fairly because that's what, you know, YouTube's about is equality. And YouTube's like, lol, black people are better than you. It's like, wow.
Not to mention as well, like, even ignoring that part, you know who's going to get the majority of these YouTube gaming bonuses? Literally Minecraft channels.
All right, Arch. Listen,
because they're still getting so many views.
Minecraft modded is fun, Arch, and if you don't play it, you know, you're never gonna get big.
I don't know about that.
EJ, Arch refuses to enjoy the idea.
Though I will give YouTube credit for this. They put a Taiwanese channel in their top 3 gaming channels, which is brave, everything considered.
Wow. And their top what?
Something. In their top 3 creators by gaming views in 2020.
Who's their top 3, though?
Their top 3, F3 TV, Jelly, and Flamingo.
Who are these
I've
people?
never heard of any of these, but...
And how are these top? Like, why isn't PewDiePie up there? Isn't he the top one?
Top creators by gaming views, so I'm presuming YouTube has had a little bit of a hand in it.
Or maybe PewDiePie doesn't make as much gaming content. I actually don't know. I don't really watch his videos. Ever since he stopped screaming like a little bitch, I thought it wasn't funny anymore. I was like, what are you doing? Go back to squealing. Go back to squealing.
That's cruel and unusual, and I thoroughly condemn you.
Because, see, I could relate to that, because I was like, yes, I too am horrified of this game. I don't have the courage to play it. But at least you do. Oh, terrible.
By and large, the idea of watching someone officially endorsed by YouTube turns my stomach just a little bit.
It's disgusting, because, like, how much, okay. If YouTube endorses somebody, I have half a mind to go, like, how many little children did they touch? Like what kind of horrible war crimes have they committed? The thing is, YouTube doesn't care about the content creators and actively hates us and treats us like shit, by the way. So does Twitch. Twitch does the same thing. Every other platform's the same. And people are like, "Why try BitChute?" BitChute doesn't is like BitChute's if you go where you go to die. Like
That's true.
That is where you.
I'm sorry to say that is true.
It's like, oh, I'm going off to BitChute, Arch. It's like that's saying like I'm going off to pasture. You know, I'm going off to BitChute, Arch. It's time for my it's over for Kib. It's where Kibbs goes to die.
But it is true. It is sad, but it is true.
That is the place where content creators go to meet Jesus.
Well, Jesus. That's a strong word for it.
You're not even focusing on the conversation because I have chat open and I'm watching it like,
yeah, I know. I am entertaining chat via two-way commentary. This is the new meta.
Listen, it's not creepy if we want to hear PewDiePie squeal. Him squealing is literally how he got fucking as big as he did. So either that or the entire world's creepy. Squealing was super popular back then, okay? Markiplier did it.
Still super popular. Just you need to do it in a heavily edited manner.
Yeah, edited squeals. It's
literally edited squeals with a color filter on top.
Literally, like every big gaming channel out there, like they squealed once. Like you gotta do it. It's part of the rite of passage. It's like squealing. Arch has done it in Phasmophobia. Don't lie, we heard it. But see, you did it, Arch. You got over it.
See, that's not a squeal.
that was a list. Oh my god, he hides in the fucking van. You do that.
I do, and I'm not ashamed of it.
See, I hide in the doorway because I'm like, I'm brave. And I get to the door and I'm like, I'm not brave anymore. And then I just close the door on Disco, and then she gets mad.
You are a coward.
What a terrible thing.
On the right side, we played GTFO, and that wasn't even scary at all.
Arch played different games, by the way. Just what? No way. You have proof? I do. Oh, it's fine that you don't like GTFO.
Let's also dip into another part of this as well, before we keep going in circles here, because Kyle's a terrible person.
What are you talking about? Chat enjoys these conversations.
The interesting part is as well that YouTube is doing this to try and be a counter to Twitch again, as the two platforms have decided to cease cooperating with one another for... Which they, to be fair, they've done straight up for the last couple of years. They have straight up colluded with one another. And now they're going to put on, at the very least, the pretense of cooperation, of competition for a short period of time. Now, Twitch has been worse and worse and worse and worse. Like, Twitch is not a gaming platform anymore. Twitch is a thought platform now, straight up. And anyone who's had any sense has already moved over to different alternatives, or tried, like that frighteningly short-lived thing with Ninja, where it's like, yes, I'll go stream over here. Cricket noises. I'm back.
Yep. But when those big content creators do move, when PewDiePie moved to that one, was it DLive or whatever? Like these platforms did like see huge growth, but the problem is it
was a boost. Unfortunately, PewDiePie decided to choose the platform which was an active scam, but oh well.
Well, the problem is even though he boosted that platform, oh, that one was a scam. Yeah. To be fair, he didn't even know about it.
DLive is not a good idea in my opinion.
It's got some. I've actually had a friend who tried it. They tried it for a bit streaming there, and I was just made an account and was over there for a little bit. Problem is they pulled support for everything. Like now that it's not going to grow, like they're abandoning it, and it's clearly on. It's clearly they just have it on just to ride what little money it's producing, and they're going to pull the plug in like a few years.
Yes,
I think it's
the
a dead
front
platform.
page of DLive right now that I looked up for shits and giggles. The highest stream has 207 views,
which, to be fair, is in like the top 2 or 3% of all streamers.
The rest are the next one is 92 views. That is Flashpoint Ukraine.
See, we're
which, to
up
be
there.
fair, that's pretty. I would watch that. And then there's like 18 viewers, 11 viewers. Yeah, it's not a particularly healthy platform.
Mm-hmm. See, you're in like the top 1% when you got like 1,000 people showing up. But when you get 10 or 15 people, you're in 10%. Like that's just to point out, like, or is it 10 or 15? Or no, it's like 40 or 50. I know I'm in like the 7 or 8% bracket, like, and then sometimes when Bart shows up, it's obviously the fucking what you call it bracket, the retardo high. But most people don't get views. That's always the most important thing. Now bear in mind that that number is skewed because, you know, most people don't make content.
Do fill the chat with Pencil's chat. It increases my engagement metrics. Spam. Spam.
Don't spam too fast though, chat. Why I say that is because YouTube's gay ass little bot will actually fucking, it'll, what's the word? It'll prevent you from.
It will yeet your ass.
It won't yeet you, but it'll stop you from typing. So like, put them in, but not too quick.
And even then, I'm not 1%. I'm like 2% probably.
I mean, 500.
Well, we need to stream later because my entire audience is nothing but Americans. You know who you are, you little degenerates.
Or earlier. Like, this is a weird time for Europeans.
Oh no, my audience is overwhelmingly Americans because they're far more intelligent than Europeans. You are the rare exception to this rule.
Betrayed. After being head patted, the pats were removed. The bald spot went away. The hair grew back. These are tragic things. 412, yeah, you're in the pretty high up there percent.
See, now the chat is giving me their demographics, like they're doxing themselves. I'm Polish. I am Arabic. I'm European. See, there's the thing. I'm fine with Arabs and Poles. Both of these are good groups, but Europeans, like, no. We don't like Europeans. No, we reject Europeans.
The Pole right there is like, like
we reject the Europeans because we accept French and Germans and Italians, but not Europeans.
Look at them, are multinational.
There's a difference there.
Arch, you're African. You can't be African. Arch is racist. You have to change your nationality, continentality.
Actually, Africa's a lovely place.
Arch, you can't say that.
Well, parts of it is pretty awful. But
you're a caricature.
South
Arch.
Africa, see, I love heat. I need to move to somewhere warmer.
Disgusting.
I need to move to somewhere warmer. And there are so many countries in Africa that's got this shit right, where they're like, yeah, no income tax. I'm like, oh, you have my interest, sir.
You have my interest, sir.
Now, granted, in many cases, you're then going to have to live under a dictatorship, like in, some of these regions, but still, no income tax. You know what? I think I could do well under dictatorship with no income tax.
Arch will be like the megacorp that's bankrolling the dictator's regime.
I will live the ANCAP life. I'll just buy bodyguards.
Just make sure that you can outbid the person who wants to kill you.
I need to buy good bodyguards, I guess.
It's like, God damn it, I gotta pay more for my bodyguards. Oh my god. Like, you wouldn't
just
want
move
the
to
best.
Russia. I think me and Putin would get along very well. Like, you hate journalists? Me too.
And he's like, wait, you criticized Russia once? Arch's like, no. And then the gulag is where he said.
That's fine. I haven't criticized Russia.
Yes, you have. Don't lie.
I may have mentioned the little green men on occasion, but those weren't Russians, as Putin himself said.
I still think he'll be in the gulag after like a week. Because Arch is one thing, if not, he's an expert complainer. He'll find something to complain about. And when he does, it's over.
See, at least I don't want to move to America, because then it's like I have to live in an actual dictatorship under a dead person. Like, no.
Personally, he's not entirely dead yet. There's still a heartbeat. Secondly.
And yes, chat, this conversation is meta. You're correct. We have many layers of narratives going on here.
Listen, Arch, you're going to come to America. We're going to set up our studio in Texas because it's cheaper there. And it's going to be hot there. And you can be in the office and the side that's hot, and I'll be in the freezer where it's cool.
See, it's fine. I'm from Norway. We'll just build a potato cellar, and it'll be cool down there.
See, Arch is a snake. Or, not a snake. He's a lizard. He's like Mark Zuckerberg. You're a lizard person because you like heat. I'm a hot red-blooded American, so I like my cold. Right? That's how it goes.
Now we're just discussing countries. The chance like Australia is warm. Yeah. And if I wanted a 50% import tax on everything I bought, I'd stay in Norway, because that's what we have.
Australia, good luck with your internet, Lamau.
Like, hello, prison colony. We'd like to slap 50% on all of your prices.
And then the police will just randomly attack us for no reason. No,
that too.
I don't want to go outside and all of a sudden just get guys with guns, like, using the butt of their guns to beat me for no reason. It's one thing if they arrest you, you know, they interrogate you and you're like, oh, you know, sorry, mistake. It's another when they start beating you before they arrest you. No, thank you. Australia, the land of police brutality, second only to China.
It'll have to be Texas. I'll just set up a little Norwegian colony over there.
Yeah, see, we'll set up our studio in Texas. We'll produce content so fast and with such great quality that chat will literally kill themselves. And then we won't have any viewership. It'll be great.
And best part is, I looked it up just now. They do celebrate the 17th of May, which is the National Norwegian Day. In Texas, they're all celebrations. We have our national day. Not as big as in Minnesota, where like 75% of the population pretends to be from Norway. But it's something.
Arch is like, see, look, you'll make so much money. You'd make more money in America, by the way. You would. Because your Norwegian government, or your Snorwegians, as they're called, right? As they're naturally called. Because they're so fucking fat and lazy. Pathetic creatures, really. But you will make more money here because unlike your pathetic, evil monarchy, in America, we actually have this wonderful thing where they only take, you know, half of your money. Over there, where you live, they take all of your money.
They do.
He's like, Archman, poor. Despite this, somehow he's managed to become rich. I don't even know how. I don't know how many people he's killed. Quite startling, really.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to start doing gaming streams over here, Kyle. When YouTube gaming starts kicking out again.
Yeah, we can.
We'll have to play. What shall we play?
Total Warhammer
something
3.
autistic.
There you go.
And something that no. Something nobody wants to watch. Something fucking ridiculous and hardcore. Yes.
See, yes. Arch is already going back to his
Shadow Empire. Shadow Empire, or does Grand Tactician Civil War have multiplayer? Like, that's a hardcore niche game.
Something needs to. Okay, tragic. Listen. I've got a second computer for streaming. It cost me like almost $2,000, and I'm fucking depressed about it still. But the thing is, I'm like, it'll pay itself off, and that's what I tell myself every time I close my eyes. But the thing is, I can stream games of high caliber with such beautiful quality. It's incredible. And I'm now like a top squeak streamer now. I can fucking stream the best. And Arch is like, we should stream stuff on my channel. Like, yes, we should stream something like really fancy looking so chat can be impressed with the quality of the gaming stream on your channel. And Arch is like, checkers. Like, god damn it. Checkers.
If it isn't something stupid and obscure, it's not worth the time. Simple as.
It's not simple as. We need to broaden Barch's taste. Oh, you know what we could do? Let's stream Fortnite on your channel. Yes, that'll get the views. Oh, yes, it will. It'll be the worst thing ever. And then I'll charge what Bubbles did. Bubbles charged me $100 per round of Fortnite. Now, you can call that based, but he's bleeding me dry. Now I'll charge Arch $100 per round of Fortnite. Wonderful.
That'll be cheap, because I don't intend to play Fortnite anytime soon.
You will play Fortnite, and I will get $100 per round. I will experience what it's like to be Bubbles.
Do Minecraft. We will not do Minecraft, but we will do Ark in the not too distant future.
Hold on. We should do Minecraft as well down the road, because it is, number one, a popular game, and number two, it's actually not a bad game. With mods, you can get really
I think it might be.
Like, we can build nuclear... No, we should build nuclear reactors and stuff, and then we fuck up, and then there's a big crater on the map. And a dead barge somewhere. We should. Don't be a coward. You know it to be true.
I reject your narrative. I thoroughly do.
Oh, that's right. I still have to gift you Age of Empires 4.
Oh god, no.
Arch, see, we need to keep getting him to play other games. It's not easy being cheesy, but with Barch, you know, you gotta try.
Dominions 5 chat, that's correct. That's probably the one we'll do, because that's a nice little retarded game that nobody knows of.
And it'll cause all sorts of gay ops and drama. It'll be beautiful.
Which is fantastic.
Arch will be like, why is Fuzzy on a proxy server trying to cancel me? Fuzzy's like, I hate you.
That is the fun part about it, but that's just another wonderful aspect.
I don't think so.
Yes, it is.
That game is cancer.
No, it's not cancer. And you will enjoy it when we play it against Disco Fuzzy and Cossie.
It is fun. There, now you own Age of Empires 4. You're welcome.
Decline?
No, except be a good girl. Don't make me buy it twice, because you know how Steam works. Steam will give me my money back in like a month.
Many sighing noises. But
good.
now, we'll wrap it up there, I think, because there's a couple of the topics I wanted to talk about, but you know what? I think I'm going to hoard them. I think I'm going to sit on them so I can laugh at them in private. Like, for example, the Cowboy Bebop trailer, which my favorite character now is Jet, which was a surprise to me as well. It's like, oh, Jet is the only one who seems to be having fun with this. That's tragic, but oh well.
You got to start somewhere, Barge. And sometimes you got to start rock bottom.
Rock bottom.
Hey, look at that. Chat's got a lot of suggestions of fun games. Subverse would have to be edited, not streamable. You could.
That I don't think would be a good stream game. No.
It would be difficult to stream XCOM because that would require me to somehow see your gameplay to stream it for you, or me to stream my game to you.
Move first.
Yes, Arch's internet's pretty bad, and when you see the streams, that's actually just me streaming for him. So it'd have to be like a multiplayer game until Arch moves one day, and 10,000 years from now, or Thor just comes down and gives him better internet for some reason because he's feeling kind.
Actually, it might not be impossible because they are currently
see, you say this all the time.
Yeah, I know, but they are currently looking at setting up a literal mast here. And that's not a problem because we just cut down like 4 kilometers or so of goddamn forest. So that wouldn't be the worst thing. Setting up a literal mast with a parabolic antenna on top of it and being like, I can see space from here.
Oh my god. Why are chat simping for Subverse so much? Chat, what's wrong with you?
Because it's kawaii.
Subverse is like, I played it and I was like, okay, like I'm bored of the gameplay after 5 minutes and like, oh, fuck. The tactical combat in the game is awful. Oh, God help me. Like, the little space shooter sections, that's fine. But fuck me, the little grid, oh, it's so boring. Kill me. So boring.
Yeah, the grid combat is not quite as
They should just
appealing.
focus on the twin stick space shooter thing, and that should be the focus of the gameplay. Drop the
shmup stuff is not at all that bad. Though I will say, if their intentions was like, okay, shmup is a little bit too challenging for a lot of people. We'll simplify it a little bit. If that was their intention, they did a truly awful job with the latest update because they made it a lot harder, which seems to be the opposite of their intent. But oh, bloody well.
Listen, it being harder is better for you.
That's true.
Makes you build character.
Ah, yes. Purchasing a house in Norway. See, I've been looking at this for ages now, trying to find a time where it isn't ruinously expensive, but it's Norway. Like, you get a 1-bedroom apartment for like $300,000. Like, it's just how the universe functions over here. It's just how it is.
It's so expensive over there. I remember Arch and I talking about like prices, and then I was like, we were talking about hypothetically setting up the studio in Texas, and we got to look. He got to looking at houses, and he's like, "Oh, these are relatively affordable." He's like, $400,000, easy peasy. It's like I'm just going like, "Damn, that's expensive."
Yeah, but the thing is, they were massive. Like $300,000 for like 500 square meters. Like insanely massive houses, good looking houses. Like you do not get that over here. Jesus Christ, no.
Oh, good. It's time for Barch to become an American, or at least he knows his vote sometimes counts. Maybe locally.
Maybe to California. But enough of Kyle's god-awful procrastination.
It's the Minnesotan way.
Oh. YouTube, you did the thing again, didn't you? Yes, you did. God damn you.
What?
No, that was not what I intended to press either.
Did you end the stream prematurely? I could see you doing that.
No. But I did insert an ad because there was a money icon and I thought, like, that's the super chat icon.
Son of a bitch. They're all watching ads right now like losers. Oh,
it's how the universe works, Kyle.
That's cruel because that's gonna put them like a minute behind or something.
Yes, it's awful. But such is reality.
I mean, you make money. Like, they're sitting there like, oh. They're getting an ad right now. That's hilarious. Now, wait, is that an ad for the VOD or is that an ad for later?
Nobody knows. But far more importantly, Samuel Eddy says, I have the overwhelming urge to hashtag spank Gibbs. I think he would enjoy that.
I'm not watching an ad, says shit. They're mad.
Jafar the Blade says, hey Arch and Mr. Whispers. No. No. Fine. Den med de skarpeste hogg-tennene vinner og dreper biter. Actually, it would be more like a murder bit in that case. You know, get your Norwegian translation correct.
My God.
At least it wasn't Swamp German. Good God, Swamp German.
No, you just got Mountain Monkey instead. Disgusting.
I prefer Mountain Monkey. Brought to you by Pfizer. Remember, guys, MSM advocating for vaccine mandates and violating informed consent. Wondering why? MSM is trash, and they are brought to you by Pfizer. I want to help the buddies share profile. Profit, I guess. Remember, MSM are just money hunger propaganda. That is true. It is money hungry propaganda. Marang 2, more Saga shilling for me. Saga isn't just historical, it's a rule set that allows for both historical and fantasy, including the option of Skaven. Oh. They're probably SAWs, though. I reject. All tabletop companies are evil.
That's hilarious.
I come to, and I will not be moved away from it.
Maranga 2's like, here's a recommendation. And Arch's like, that sounds rejected. He's like, good.
Sargon bought Age of Empires 4 as well, by the way. We can play with Sargon now.
Oh,
he
God.
plays against the AI.
He'll play the English longbowman. Lol.
He will.
What a scrub.
Nathan Hildeman says, after your series on the Blood Angels successive chapters, have you considered doing one on the Renegade or Chaos Warbands, the Blood Angels, or any other legions for that matter? See, what I should be doing is just wrapping up the Primarchs, honestly. Because in reality, I was waiting for the Horus Heresy for me to finish reading it so I could do better in-depth stuff on them and also do custom art on them, and really when I was feeling like doing it. But Games Workshop perhaps does not deserve that kind of attention, so maybe, slowly.
It's not a bad idea for content creators to stop producing content or slow down, because odds are lore channels are going to be eaten in the near future.
Quite potentially. Again, Fox 61, China owns the internet when Obama gave the keys to the UN, because China owns the UN. Kyle, China has a lot of bubbles there, indeed, popping. That's not wrong. The UN is a strange body.
Hmm.
Malefica Shikon, handy some mun-muns to my favorite YouTubers. Thank you very much. Kyle won't get a dime of that, mind you, but such is life.
The 25% is getting smaller. It's getting smaller.
It is. Nancy Pelosi Hedge Fund. I am the most successful hedge fund ever, and we're going to get the IRS to track any transaction over $600. My hedge fund success is totally not due to insider trading, and we're totally not going to pressure big tech to censor our opponents. There was the thing, I don't think it was Nancy, but it was some high congresswoman's husband who bought tons of stock in Dominion, the voting system that was used in the entirely fair and above-board election in America recently. And then, right after he'd bought in, they were selected to be used as the voting system. $1 billion order. Huh. You know, Kyle, some people are just lucky, I guess.
Things just pan out good for them. You know what? I'm happy for them. I'm glad luck just sort of, literally hands them the seat to everything they need. Like, oh, everything just lines up perfectly. You gotta love it when a good plan, luck comes together.
Indeed. Very fortunate. Petty Planeta Missionary says Arch forgets that he would only get an hour a week for his porn games, LMAO. We'll just stream the porn games. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
YouTube might care.
Most of them are visual novels anyways. They're 90% text.
Hold on. Just say naked yoga or something like that in the tag.
That's true.
Safe.
Naked yoga. Dragon of Dragons says, oh god, no. That's all. Presumably it's something horrible Kyle said.
But why?
Cyber Anime Alien asks, is the belief that China will collapse based off reason, or is it more of a hope or wish? A bit of both. The thing is, the Chinese economy is heavily based on propping itself up. Mm-hmm. Essentially, if you look into it, they have massive infrastructure programs where the state pays Chinese companies in freshly printed money to build stuff. And this does create a great deal of growth within China because Chinese companies are now doing really, really well, which means that their stock prices increases, which means that the value of Chinese companies grow larger and larger. And then there's also companies like Tencent with significant contributions by other sources, buying up more and more property and companies otherwise as well. Like, they have a lot of theoretical financial power. It's just that almost all of it is based on our Western economic market. Basically, they're hoping that we won't ever treat them like they treat us. And they might be correct in that.
They might be. But it also boils down to, like, their economies. It's not real, if that makes sense. Like, because it's so bloated, like with the infrastructure project, like they build highways that lead to nowhere that just collapse.
Yes.
Like,
it's a very complicated subject, but literally their economy is in large parts
faker than, and that's weird to say because, like, when you think about it, the dollar only has value because people think it has value, but in the case of China, like, it's even more fake than that. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's economies for you in a nutshell. You can get some economy experts who's like, actually, it's like, oh my god. Listen, this is supposed to be simple, my friend, not complicated. Oh no, Dinko's wanting a pencil fetish. She must be thirsty again.
Probably is. Kamala Harris Swallows. That's a disturbing name.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, I got my success in politics through Willie Brown and swallowing. Let's push vaccine mandates so I can increase my share portfolio. Totally not experimentally on you like CDC giving black syphilis at Tuskegee. Well, we shan't comment on the vaccine because YouTube doesn't like that. Just take your third dose now and ignore the fact that you were supposed to have one. Then two. It's fine.
It's
not
just
a problem.
Ignore that, it's not doing anything for you.
You are not being experimented on, citizen. Calm down.
Perfectly natural.
Sheldon Barfield asks, off topic, are the Swedes actually that terrible, or is it just playful ribbing between pals? Oh no, they're actually that terrible. See, Sweden Sweden is not a country. Sweden is a province that is gotten uppity, much like America with the British Empire, incidentally. And they're just bad people in general. Like, they don't know what to do by themselves. They need to be enslaved, is the kind and gentle, humane word. It will happen eventually. I'm hoping their economy will collapse soon. They've been stubbornly resistant to economic collapse so far, however. Unfortunately, they've had this nasty habit of actually building stuff like infrastructure and industry and cheating, as I like to call it, instead of relying on natural resources like we do.
Arch is like, the Swedes will reintegrate us into the great empire. Goodbye, Barge. Time for you to become a second-class citizen.
Oh, the Swedes will be second-class citizens. That I can guarantee.
See, the Norwegians are still cocky because when the Swedes tried to reconquer your ass, they got like, they're like, we're gonna get you. So they started going through the mountain in the middle of winter. I'm like, oh, we all did. No, Swedish monkeys.
Oh, that's why I was suddenly lagging. Steam decided to update Dota. Kyle, Dota.
It's not updated.
That's fine. It's only like a 60 megabyte update.
Which might as well be 60 years in your case.
Fuku Ninja says entropy streaming takes 15%. That's right. Entropy. Many of these streamings take way less. Let's see. Entropy streaming. Entropy. It doesn't even show up at the top of the search results.
That's not a good sign.
There we go. I found it. Let's see. It has like nothing on it. Like it's an unfinished web document front. This is unfortunate.
That's the problem with all these alternatives. Either they're A, not done, B, they just started. Like Odyssey. Odyssey is still like a beta or like alpha or whatever. And it's based on LBRY, which is something I signed up for like 3 years ago to back up my content there. Oh yeah, that's right. We do get money on Odyssey. I never collect it though. It's their silly little library coins or whatever. They're bit currency.
Yes. Eventually, when I carry out my other grand secret plans, I'll set Disco up to basically set me up on all of these alternatives. It'll be a thing, and it'll be Disco's responsibility. It's fine. It's okay.
Make Disco do more work, but for less pay.
Yes. Yes. She asked 50 Norwegian kroners to do it, and I'm like, yep, fine.
Wow, that's really cheap.
It's really cheap.
I think I'll have her do some extra work for 15 kroners as well. She's like, no.
15 kroners, Jesus. Pray just dropped even further. Good.
Oh,
getting cheaper
kroners.
by the minute, Disco.
Nice.
Going for gold 85 says Bickering Bunch plus Arch Blood Bowl League. Do it, Kyle. We should do a Blood Bowl League.
See, Blood Bowl, like, okay, I looked at Blood Bowl back when I was trying to get into Warhammer. I was like, wow, Warhammer looks so cool. And then the literal devs that make Warhammer are like, actually, it's just plastic, and we don't care. Also, give us your money. And so now when I look at Warhammer stuff, I'm like, I see plastic.
Blood Bowl League.
Yeah, but
Kyle.
Blood Bowl's like digital plastic.
Bowl
also,
League.
in regards to Blood Bowl, like, it looks super cool. And then I tried playing it a little bit, and I was like, "Oh my god, I think I'm so incredibly bored. I'm tired."
That's fine.
He's like, "That's fine. Just be awake enough to lose."
Yes. Besides, trust me, you'll be less tired once the frustration kicks in.
See, it's not frustration. Me, it's like, "Ha, dude, go forward," and like, "Ha, he dead."
See, that's the thing, Kyle. You will be frustrated when I play against you with a proper Chaos team. Or something gay and faggoty. Like the Skaven. You're like, I finally got the ball. The Skaven go like, I throw a ball from one end of pitch to other. Ha! Scored. Blood Bowl League. It's going to have to happen. We should probably wait for Blood Bowl 3. But then nobody's going to have it. And nobody's going to buy it. Because they know that it's a trap.
This is a brilliant move.
An
We'll wait for
unfortunate
3, I think. Wait for... Arch is like, wait a minute.
Blood Bowl League, me, and Kyle. There you go. See, we should do one of those YouTuber Blood Bowl leagues if it weren't for the fact that we hate all the YouTubers.
Oh God, no, you don't hate all YouTubers. Because the thing is, Arch has been like overly nice. Like that's not apt about like YouTubers. I'm so burnt out because the people I used to hang out that did YouTube were so fucking like rampantly toxic, and they would do things behind each other's backs to the point where I got sick of their little drama things, and so I literally just deleted my Discord server, deleted my channel, and just sort of like, I'm not doing this anymore. And it wasn't until like Arch convinced me to get back into YouTube that I actually did get back into YouTube. Cause like Arch is the only one of the few, I think one of the only YouTubers I met that wasn't a lying fucking snake. I got so sick of it. The petty dramas, the fragile little egos. Like it's so fucking boring. Like, and I've got because of that group, like when Arch started to hang out with these Warhammer people, like I could just see through them. Like with the major dude, like I was like, yep, he's a snake. Like that one's gonna backstab you. Balrog's gonna backstab you. And it's like, you're just being, you don't think they're that bad. Like they're just human beings. You can't like judge them so harshly. And I'm like, no, they're terrible people. They're gonna backstab you. And Arch is like laying on the ground a month later with knives out of his back. I'm like, I told you. You can't trust anyone anymore. Everybody's out to stab you in the back. And that's the minute you do politics. But even then, behind the scenes, if your content gets more views or more like viewer retention, like the jealousy starts at the most pettiest of levels. Like there was that one Warhammer Fantasy channel that was doing like tabletop stuff, and I would name him because I don't care. I would drop his name if I could remember it, but he's so forgettable. No offense intended. Fuck you. But the thing is, like he made this video where he threw a tantrum about it. He's like, I'm giving up on Warhammer lore because Arch's channel passed mine. That's back in like the 20-30K Arch period when Arch was tinier. Like people would just like fucking whinge about the fact that somebody's like doing better than him or better than them on something. It's like, for Christ's sake. And I actually kind of enjoyed that guy's videos, which kind of pissed me off because I was like, oh, fuck you too then. Fuck you.
Despite Kyle's meanness towards other human beings, we are of course recruiting VTuber accounts around Kyle's size to nothing really, but it'd be funny.
Recruiting VTuber accounts. Oh yeah, we should look for them. I remember why.
There you go. There we go. There we go. Abdi Muhammad says, tell the Kibs dude that I'm willing to give him black cred as I am black. Also tell him to fix his Discord link. Unfortunately, my friend, I see you've donated Swedish kronas there, and as far as I'm concerned, Swedes are neither black, white, yellow, nor anything else. They are subhuman. Yes. Yes. Sweden. Yes. Bully Sweden. All Swedes.
All
Hashtag
Swedes
all.
must be banned. Ban
Yes,
the Swedes.
All Swedes. All Swedes must be abused. It is simply how life must continue. Is it unfair? Yes. Is it horribly bigoted? Yes. But it is for the good of humanity. It must be done. F. Prezit says, Kibs, you haven't accepted my gift yet. Kyle, what have you done?
I haven't accepted it yet because I was contemplating whether I should get it for Barch and everyone else. Because if people,
what did you do?
People gifted me not gifted me. We got super chat Munmuns to play fucking Fortnite. We got like $1,000, and so we're like, fine, we'll do like 2 rounds of it, and it was awful. It was the most boring 2 rounds of my entire life. But the thing is, I think it was 3. But the thing is, like, we also got gifted money to do GTFO. That's why we streamed GTFO, because it's like, okay, I told my audience that I was like, all right, if you really want a game, at least, you know, and there was no innovation for us to play it, like, I'm gonna have to ask that you guys, if you want that game, to give enough so that I can get the copies for everyone. Because if it's a game and it's like, oh, that's $60 or something like that, it's like, all right, so now I have to buy a $60 copy for myself. I don't mind doing that. I'll pay for myself. But now I have to also buy it for Bubbles, Disco, Arch. And it's like, that's like 200 and friggin' what? 66 or not 120, $240. Math is hard. That's a lot of money. And especially if like it turns out like Arch and Disco hate it or something. It's like, damn, $240 for one stream, and that stream like makes $20. Like, oof, that's quite the red number right there.
Kind of makes excuses for himself. Even vile excuses. Spotted Pig, which also donates Swedish kroners. God, they keep reading. Why do they exist, Kyle? Says, Stardew Valley, action and suspense. You can breed pigs. I didn't read that part, but it fits in beautifully with what I just said. And other kib-like creatures. Actually, I'm not at all opposed to breed. See, that's what I'm going to do in Ark. I'm pretty sure Ark has pigs. I'm just going to have, like, a breeding pen of pigs. And they'll be named Kibs 1, Kibs 2, Kibs 3, Kibs 4, Kibs 5. And then the dung beetle that's going to be inside of the Kibs breeding pen, that will be named Bubbles.
Damn. You should have seen the last stream chat. Was it yesterday? We were playing GTFO. And Arch just started fucking making Chubby Bubby. Like he just started chanting Chubby Bubby behind Bubbles. And I think Bubbles got agitated, so he tried to close the door on Arch. But it only closed on Disco. It's quite funny.
And then Disco got agitated. It backfired.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. Disco's like, what?
Stardew Valley. I'm almost kind of tempted to play one of those games, though, because... Or Terraria. I remember that.
We should
I
mod
remember
it, though.
that game. That game was so popular that even Totalbiscuit played it with that creature thing. The ginger person whose name escapes me right
Cox.
now.
I remember his name
yes.
because I think he's kind of insane. I think he went nutty or something like that. Nutty putty.
Yes, he's pretty far off the deep end. But I remember Totalbiscuit fucking hated it so much. Like, you could hear the visceral hatred in his voice after like the first episode high had worn off, and he kept being asked to play it because he was the Minecraft of its time for a period there, and people kept asking him to play it, and he made angry noises. He would bitch people out of that. It's like, no, I refuse. Oh.
And then turned out Terraria wasn't a Minecraft clone. It was actually brought something new to the table. And then at the end of Terraria's development has more content than Minecraft does. Vanilla Minecraft is the most boring, brain-dead experience. Like, if you play Minecraft, you do it for the mods, or you don't do it at all.
Or you do it for the meme of being 12 years old.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Now listen, Totalbiscuit's dead. He's fucking worm food. So he doesn't matter no more.
He's alive.
No, he's not.
Yes, yes.
Rotting corpse.
Dragon of Dragons simply says stream Fire Warrior. Yeah.
Stream Fire Arch, Warrior. We could have you stream Fire Warrior. You know, you're the Warhammer channel.
I can't stream, Kyle. You're going to have to stream it for me. Yes. Okay. Chat, this is what we'll do. Kyle will stream Fire Warrior.
And you'll be present.
And I'll be somewhere else.
Oh my god, I at least want 50% of all the ad revenue from that one.
Oh, you can have the ad revenue. I'll keep the super chat stuff.
No, wait, that's the money. The ad revenue is
suddenly he realized, like, damn, I screwed myself.
The ad revenue is basically, like, it's like Archer, like, tosses me a 4-piece chicken nugget. It's like, thank you for the chicken nugget. Oh my god.
I don't know why you would want such a thing, chat, but, you know, blame Dragon of Dragons when you get it, I guess. Black 1917 says, Squack and Hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Savior. Also, Sound Kibs.
Is that Black 1917?
Sound. I'll bring the number 9 pencil. Ooh, spicy. While I would love to have you in my home state, Arch, I'm afraid our heat might bake your poor Norwegian soul. I deal fairly well with heat, because I would be intelligent enough to dig a hole in my backyard and fill it with water and be like, cold. The number 9 at Chip Hensley is awfully chunky, Kyle. I wish you the best of luck with absorbing it.
Absorbing it.
Yes. See, you let that hang as if I'm supposed to retract or modulate anything. No. I stand by my statement there. I wish you the best in absorbing it.
I doubt it. Big doubt.
Let's Go Brandon says, lol, YouTube is a trash company. Agreed. And tried to censor the song Let's Go Brandon under medical information, but backfired as we are now #1 on iTunes. Lol, Streisand Effect, Susan, F you. You deserve to get Epstein in Roblox. Cruel. And well, they did succeed, because they did yeet it. Ah, Let's Go Brandon. It's a boomer meme. But at least it is a boomer meme. It is our boomer meme. Oh, Jesus. See, this is really what we actually should do. Just random, retarded, talky streams. Because why do you guys like this so much? This is way more fun. Kyle, my audience, they're weird, but I love them. Why? Why are they this way? Oh, God. And then I see Desert Hamster be like, I am going to write in Serbian. Banu? Kyle, entertain chat whilst I Google Translate Serbian.
It's soybean. You don't even need to Google Translate that. Okie dokie. Look at Dinko. Dinko's attempting to communicate, but she's too dinko-y. Look.
Right, never mind. Google tells me that it's Croatian. Oh, Jesus, Croatian. A Serb being accused of being a Croat. Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
or
no.
vice versa. Either way, that's hilarious.
Oh, no.
Well, Desert Hamster, you little Croatian, you.
Wait, no, Desert Hamster's not a Croatian. He's a soybean.
No, that's the funny part, Kyle. He sent me a message probably in Serbian, and Google Translate think it's Croatian.
Oof.
Now, Serbia and Croatia has a strained historical relationship, so from now on, Desert Hamster is Croatian. But yes, actually, allow me to butcher your language. Posljednji Blood Angels video je bio super, Arch.
Wow, that is quite the statement. Profound, even, some might say.
Very profound. And true. He's half Croat, Jesus. It's a fate worse than death in that country. Serbia. I wish we could travel again, because I really enjoyed being in Serbia. The food is amazing, and it's super cheap. Sadness.
What kind of chemical?
NJ Gamer
Go ahead.
Says, Arch GW is getting worse. Why not go for a playset? War Machine Tactics. Because War Machine Tactics might actually be even worse than Games Workshop. I have seen their prices. Now, at that point, I'll go over to Battletech instead.
The prices there are rather cheap.
In fact, I'm not going to call it Battletech. I'm going to call it Mech Warrior, because that way we'll get somebody in trouble somehow.
Mech Warrior. I mean, technically it's the same license. Mech Warrior is the video game license Microsoft owns. But it is related to the Battletech universe. But it's also a little different because, like, they've only recently added Melee to the newest game, if I remember right.
Now, War Machine is a cool idea, though. Like, we probably should do some War Machine lore, at least, because they do have some cool designs.
I mean, we could literally do a stream where we just look at War Machine stuff and then we try it on Tabletop Sim or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we could. Nathan Hildeman says, Subway's greatest sin is adding the skip level button for people who are so deficient that they make Dean Takashi look good. See, I actually entirely get the argument for adding in a skip level button in Subverse because... Yes, exactly. Like, they are there to watch a tiny girl get absolutely brutally butt-fucked by a monster two-legged orca killer whale. And the shmup elements are stopping them from embracing this. Like, I get it. And you gotta remember, too, I am imagining the Studio FOW audience, watch Harley Quinn get brutally gangbanged by 7 dogs audience, might not necessarily be so deep into the twin-stick shooter sphere of things.
Yes, because you're also appealing to the Coomer audience. And the Coomer audience may not actually care about gameplay and just wants to coom.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'm on the exact opposite ends. Like, yes, add in more gameplay, please, and a story, maybe. But still. Yeah, I get it. Like, you fail 3 times and you get to skip it. Okay, cool. I understand. Like, it's one thing to put a mechanic like that into a Mario game made for children. It's like, no. Those little sons of bitches need to learn that sometimes you gotta work for something. But this is a game for, 30, 40-year-old somethings that's just desperately need to coom. And fine.
They need to desperately coom play.
Fine.
That's funny. Also, quick question. What kind of chemical weapons were in Warhammer 40k? What kind of chemical weapons are there? Do you know of? Are there anything different?
Yes. Shit like the fucking World Eater virus.
What does that do?
Eats worlds.
But why?
Because it's the World Eater virus.
That seems a bit much, don't you think?
It's 40k, Kyle.
I'm fucking with you. There you go.
Like, it's a bit much.
I answered somebody's question. I'll pick that one as the first and last biological weapon.
Mark the Shame says Plenty Annihilation got the mods fixed from the last patch that removed the community mods tab. Anyways, Darkest Dungeon is on early access, but it's only on Epic Game Store. 1, Epic Game Store, muy no. And 2, I actually really hated Darkest Dungeon in the end there. I loved it to begin with. I loved the idea. I loved the setting. I loved the art style. I loved so much about it. But it fell prey to the same thing that Ultimate General Civil War did, where eventually the developers ended up in a war against their own goddamn fandom. And so every time the fandom would be like, ha, look, I beat this level so easy. And the developers would be like, you little piece of shit. And they'd make it harder. And that's what Darkest Dungeon ended up. Like, eventually, the game is just so grindy and so brutal and so pure RNG that I'm just like, I have better things to do with my life. No.
Yep. That's kind of where I was at with Darkest Dungeon. Like, the game is the art style is great, the narrator's fantastic, the music's great, the atmosphere is good, but the gameplay is absolute dog piss. And that also boils down to the fact that they just simply actively try to balance the game to specifically make it difficult. Not that the game is actually difficult, but they generally just design the game around punishing the player for the sake of punishing the player, because that's what the cool kids do. It's not challenging, yes. It's not hard, it's just boring.
It's very much so punishment for the sake of punishment, and I know some people love that, but it is not for me.
I mean, the worst part is when you try to criticize a game like that, or you try to talk about the critical aspects of like what's fundamentally wrong with, Darkest Dungeon, or what's wrong with Dark Souls, because there are layers and layers and layers of issues and problems that need to be discussed. The issues is a lot of people don't like talking about that because like no, it's hard. You don't get it. It's because it's hard. No, it's like it's bad game design. It's not that it's hard. It's that the game is so poorly designed, or this specific like section is so poorly designed that it just needs to be like, it can be difficult. That's fine, but when the game's your difficulty is the camera, or your difficulty is just the procedural generation, not the actual game, the game's not hard. The game's flawed. Oh, Darkest Dungeon's procedural generator. I don't know if they
also
fixed
the
that.
last
Bad.
boss, the Heart of Darkness, which you need to make 4 full teams to beat it 4 times to win the game. It's like, I have mobile games that are less grindy than that. I genuinely do. Oh, it's a little sad. Oh, well. Flora78, will we see Arch and Kibbs dancing cheek to cheek? No, but if Kyle gets 10,000 subscribers, you will see him dancing naked.
No, I never said that. I told chat whether I'd play Amnesia only if I had 10,000 subscribers. Because like, you should play Amnesia, and I'm like, I'll just alt that 4 or 5 minutes into the game.
You did also promise that you were going to to cross-dress for $1 million. So there you go.
As a joke when I was drunk. As a
joke, Kyle, it's not a joke, it's canon now.
Firstly, I'll never reach 1 million subs, and by the time I do, I won't be young at all. I'll be like 80 if that does happen. And no one will want to see that.
But it'll still happen, and that's the beauty of it.
Yes, and by the time I'm 80, I'll love to do it because then that'll ruin everyone. I'm like, no, please don't. Like, ha ha ha, yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, the chat is discussing a war with China. Let me actually drop a little horrible pill on you right there. Because I halfway want the war to pop up because there'd be so many cool weapon systems deployed. One of the really awful things is China actually has IRBM missiles, intermediate range ballistic missiles, with non-nuclear warheads, tactical warheads, massive goddamn things with homing capacity that can find, target, and kill carriers, specifically designed to do this. And they can be fired from China to Japan. And that will be the first strike. When, if China decides to do this, it's the Ronald Reagan carrier force, is it? That's in Yokohama, Japan? Like that will be rained on like you will not imagine. Like I would not want to live in Yokohama at that point. Oh. There's actually a command modern operations scenario for that, which I think I played on the channel, where I managed to nail the carrier task force with like 12 of those. It was hilarious.
See, that's assuming that they work, right? Because the game doesn't.
Oh, they do though.
The game doesn't factor into Chinese engineering though.
Oh yes, it does. Oh fuck yes, it does. It's command modern operations. Shit has failure rate.
Well, you know, maybe they've been bought out by the Chinese. Who published the game?
That's the beauty of playing China, because you'll fire off missile after missile and you'll just miss because they're just bad weapons. Their homing is awful. At one point, I remember distinctly, after having missed like 3 missiles in a row, I just gave up and was, okay, God is not the correct entity for this, so Satan, please, guide my missiles. And the next one, hit.
Look at Barch.
Satanism is the solution.
He's a Chinese simp already, chat. He's a turncoat.
Oh, God. The J-20 Mighty Dragon, the Chinese stealth fighter, Jesus Christ, on a bike. It's less stealthy than an F-16 with dreadful goddamn radar. And the Chengdu, I can't wait for Command Modern Operation to get co-op, Kyle. Just so I can put you in China and have you fight F-16s and hear the crying noises.
So you say co-op.
I will enjoy it.
This doesn't sound like co-op. A true cooperative experience would be, I'll play Taiwan, you play as America, and you protect me because I don't know what I'm doing.
No, we play China, you get to do all of the Air Force stuff, and I'll do ground defenses.
So your air support won't exist. Got it. Your air support will be about as effective as Germany's air superiority was on Normandy.
On the other hand, I'll get to look out at the coast at the 200 incoming Taiwanese Tomahawk ripoffs and go, I hope we have many anti-missile weapons.
Listen, Taiwan doesn't need to invade China. It just needs to blow China up. You made fan art, Regular Squeak? Where is it, Regular Squeak? Show me. Show me, you stupid bastard. Show me.
Oh, destroyers with Sea-Wiz? Oh no, that wouldn't do dick. Like, the thing you don't understand, like, I forgot the name of it, but these IRBM missiles, they're self-guiding, so they don't need to be guided by anything. They will find the target, they'll analyze, and they'll try to hit the carrier. And they will come in at such a... Like, these things are falling out of orbit. The speed at which these things are coming in, you have a chance to intercept them. Like Kyle has a chance of being a heterosexual male.
Firstly, I am. And secondly, fuck you. And thirdly, Arch is not banned from World of Warships. He can still play it. He can still do stuff there. People always use, like, spin tall tales. Like, thing is, no. Arch isn't banned. They ended their sponsor deal thing because GW did something illegal and went behind the scenes and basically strong-armed Wargaming to pull their sponsorship with Arch.
Yes.
Wait, what fan art? Reguline, send it to me. Just send it to me in my DMs. Come on, chop, let's go. Let's go for the Duke. The new Dune movie. I do want to see that. People keep saying it's okay.
Monk Shamed says, UN is a step above anarchy of sovereign nations. Some might argue anarchy would be better. At least we don't have one world government. Yet. It's inevitable. It'll happen one day, and it'll be interesting. Mark Shamed, China funds a company only to the point where it takes over all Western competitors, then, like all useful idiots, arrest the owners and disband the company for illegal activities. Which, incidentally, is what's currently happening to Tencent, slowly but surely. Abdi Mohammed, I'm not a Swede, I live here. Oh, in which case I apologize profusely for calling you the worst insult in the humanity of, in the history of humanity, a Swede. Truly, I am sorry. Tell the Kibs dude to fix his Discord link. Kyle, fix Discord.
You might need to switch browsers. Because the thing is, I checked it, it already works.
Oh, try different browsers then, I guess.
Or you might have add-ons running or something like that. Like, that can happen. Disco and I were discussing because some people were having issues before. Check your add-ons, check your browser. If not, then, you know what they say, turn it off and on again.
Desert Hamster, please read my DM and tell me if I was right. Maybe.
Okay, I found the picture. It's an old piece of fan art. But I'll bring it up. And send it to me.
Eulogy to 40k, close.
Not yet, though.
At least I wanted to do the Blood Angels, because the Blood Angels are my favorite.
I like the idea of Arch doing a eulogy to his own favorite fandom. That'd be great.
Wow. Your butthole needs to be closed.
You should do an entire series on the beautiful death of Warhammer and call it the Beautiful Death, because I know that'll make people salty. Oh, it'll make them so mad. It's not dead. It's just it's the heart may have stopped, but it's still wiggly. But it's still.
Gummy Bear 21 just finished watching the GTFO stream, so when are we getting the Arc Hot Tub stream with a Minotaur mod on? Minotaur. Sometime this December, we'll start up Arc. That'll be good streaming material for Kyle. He can feature Sargaruni of the Puni of England, and Sargon will be there on his dinosaur, and Disco will be babysitting him. Because that's what Disco will do.
Disco's gonna have
He's
to
already
babysit
promised
him.
to be his exclusive babysitter.
I just imagine Sargon trying to be British or something. That might be cancer.
Trying to be British.
Right.
Yeah, we've seen that before, Kyle. China, good.
We have.
Positive.
This is fan art was provided by Giggles. It's an older piece of fan art, but it applies to every time we talk about China. This is quintessentially speaking, or just not no, it essentially is basically every conversation we have when Arch brings up China.
It's also accurate and correct.
One.
I will be valued and welcomed by the Chinese, for I am the correct color. Which, you know what? It'll be a nice change of goddamn pace to be the right color for once. I'm sick of being the wrong color, Kyle.
I'm sick of. Oh my god! Firstly, it's a shade. No, I'm kidding. Oh. Disco's reeing. I'm not babysitting him this time. Disco, your maternal instincts will kick in, and you'll just start fucking nursing the old boomer and be like, "Oh, it's okay, little guy." You'll be like, "Help! I'm stuck." Oh, terrible. Probably should invite Dev. I'm sure Dev will join.
Dev is Dev would never join if it was just with us. But the moment Sargon mentioned it, he's like, "Clout."
Here's how we do it. We'll be like,
little Dev.
We'll be like, Sargon's gonna be there, even if he's not, and then Dev will show up and be like, "Where's Sargon?" "Oh, he said he's busy right now. He'll join us later." Okay. Yes, Dev.
Then he'll hang around 2 hours later. He's like, "Dude, I'm not sure Sargon's showing up."
Shut up, Dev. Fucking grind, Dev.
Dev, such a terrible person.
We'll be starting that in December. The big arc thing. If we're gonna do that and it's gonna be a far out, I might as well make like a special thumbnail for it. Giggles.
It will be in December, yes.
Giggles just arrived. His name is I Laugh at Spaghetti. When it should be Giggles, but whatever. He just saw his fan art. He's happy now.
Lupu says, did you talk about Tencent buying into Kadokawa? We have not, but I'm sure that'll work out just fantastic.
Actually, now that you bring it up, Arch, what are your thoughts? Because you're big on the anime stuff, and that's one of those big anime publishers, right?
Kyle, how dare you?
It is. Now tell me, Arch, how do you feel about it?
Oh, it just means that they're a dead company now. They will die. Slowly, but surely. The problem is, too, Bandai Namco is also... It might be a good counterweight, because Bandai recently rebranded to an uglier logo, and then committed themselves to globalism and diversity, so they're dead. So maybe Kadokawa will be the opposite of that. They'll just be like, yes, we get base Chinese money. Do you think they give a shit? China will save us all. China, number one.
China number one.
Number one. Market shame, Totalbiscuit is alive. I agree. I support the conspiracy. We will have a museum with DNA evidence, just like Elvis and Tupac. He's somewhere, being grumpy.
Dead.
Lupu. Also, please say a Nico, no, Lupu. You're gonna have to send me a lot more than 20 tacos for me to say his name.
Squeeze the tacos out of Boog.
Fucking time.
See,
I do need to make a video on Neoth at some point, and I will hate every second of it. The problem is, I need to make a video on the Emperor, an actual video on the Emperor, and then a video on Neoth.
And Urda, don't forget Urda. Urda was his queen, and God help anyone who would dare touch his queen, or something like that. Yes, you need to do that in there.
Hatred.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be beautiful. The salt from Arch will be so spectacular. I'll watch that. Yes, I'll watch that fully. Come on. Chop chop, let's go. I want the Arch Pain video.
The Goof 171 says, more Skaven RP, please. Squeaky Reeky. It'll be next January again.
First weekend of January.
Yes, 2-month hiatus now for Kibian reasons.
Work related. Because contract renewal's coming up, and I need to really inflate those numbers. So on the 2nd of January is when the Skaven RP resumes with Season 2. Arch, that means you got to get a Season 2 cover art. Yeah.
Don't know about that.
Wow.
I'll just update Ketchup's portrait, which I never did.
True, because he's dead. Okay, at least remember to do that. So January 2nd. January 2nd, chat. Mark that down.
Now the goddamn chat is starting. Oh, I hate the fact that was a thing. Sadness. Arch, could you play Warhammer Epic Final Liberation? It was a fun game a long time ago, and you could tell the history of every unit in the game. I do miss that as a feature.
It's on GOG.
I'm playing a World War II game called Rising Storm, where every single unit had a whole massive ass. Was it Rising Storm? I think it was Pacific Storm. Fuck, hold on. I've got it. I know, here it is. Yes. Talonsoft Rising Sun. I literally have the disc here still. And every single unit you could click on, and you got like a whole like biography entry and like a massive history bit about it. Oh, it was so cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Might actually take some inspiration from that. See, I always wanted to try this game. I bought all the Warhammer games they had on GOG on sale, because they have Rights of War, they got, Final Liberation, they got Chaos Gate, and the one Warhammer Fantasy Battles one, the really old one. They also have Warhammer Mark of Chaos and the expansion pack. Yeah. Have you ever played those games, Arch? Mark of Chaos and the expansion pack, the Orc one? I forget what it's called. Those were kind of fun.
Shadow of the Hound Rat. It's a rat.
Yeah, it's on there. I bet Arch played that back in the day.
If anything, the first one I would be playing would be Rights of War, because that was a cool game. And it allowed you to play the Eldar, which was super rare back then. Hell, he's super rare now.
Honestly, there's a certain novelty in that, because, like, I'm not gonna lie. When you look at the Warhammer 40k games and the Warhammer Fantasy games like Vermintide or Darktide, which is coming out, like it's boring. Like it's like, oh, just play as the guardsmen. Oh, just play as the fucking like, the humans, the good guys. Like I'll give this to Fire Warrior, even though Fire Warrior is fucking dog shit. It did something kind of interesting, a very brave move. Though fuck the game and hope it burns in hell. But like the idea of playing as one of the Xeno species or something else, just to get like a little bit of more flavor. That's kind of cool. They should, if they're gonna make more video games in the setting, give us like an orc game or give us like a chaos game, something different for a change would be nice.
But nice is not a thing that is good for you, Kyle.
This game looks really old.
We need old school Panzer generals. That was good shit.
Can Space Marines really dig that, by the way? Because I see that in the game. They dug little like foxholes for themselves, but half their body's buried.
Space Marine dig when digging is digging.
That was a big explosion. I blew up a church.
I do love the Ultramarines cosplay in it. It's just a dude. It's just a dude. He's not bigger or bulky or anything. It's just a dude.
Oh god, does it have FMV videos like the Command and Conquer ones?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. Press it. So what you're saying is I need to gift you a copy for Art, Bubbles, Disco, and Hans, or should I give you enough for the 8-player cap?
Honestly,
you should give.
The thing is, if you want to just gift them directly and you have their Steam things, you can do that and just let me know. You don't have to send it to me. You can just send it to them directly, as long as it covers the copies of games for them, and then I'll basically work on persuading them to play it, like I did with GTFO. Like I dangled it in front of Barge, and Barge was actually, to his credit, he actually just sort of did it, which surprised me. Normally there's a little bit of whinge, there's a little bit of, but we can get him to play other games. It's possible.
Kyle is projecting again. Make him stop.
No. CNC FMVs were fantastic. Yes, they were. And it's why the Command & Conquer franchise should get more remasters, like Arch had said previously.
Command & Conquer 2 does need a remaster really badly. See, I really don't want to do Let's Play videos because nobody watches them. Straight up, just simple as that. Like nobody.
I know
it's not a popular market, but if I were, it would be this old stuff.
A part of me misses the fact that you did Let's Play content on your lore channel, because a part of me goes like, you know what? That was it's part of the nostalgia thing, and occasionally I would open them up so I could make fun of Arch when something inconvenient happened, and then just bring it up randomly. And normally it's funny because see how long it takes him to realize you're talking about something that he did. He's like, what is he talking about? But there's a certain charm in that. And so maybe you should. Maybe not necessarily on your lore channel if you want to keep it dedicated to that, but definitely on the ArchCast. I think there's room for versatility here.
No, just gonna have to make a third Let's Play channel. There you go.
The Let's Play channels never grow. You know it. It's a dead end.
It won't. I know, but it's a dead end regardless.
Listen.
Dead end, dead end, dead end.
Fine. We'll do cooperative games on my channel, and that's how I'll grow bigger. I'll just be like the little leech on Arch's back, just like suck.
It's like Let's Play channels are dead end. Meanwhile, Kyle looks at his own channel like shit.
Hold on, we're not dead yet. We're still wiggling. What the fuck was that picture at the last fucking sec? I saw that.
Don Pint XS. Never forget a leaper nuked an eldritch god. Why not? What are the problems? There are no problems. Murio Kitson, the movies aside, would you do some lore on the Dune universe? Yes, we will. We will do a little bit of lore on the Dune universe, because there's some really cool shit in Dune. Honestly, I would like to get through the book again. I'll see if I can find the audiobook. In fact, I think I still have, actually, the audiobook somewhere. Because I have this giant-ass library of cool audiobooks, but they're so massive that yeah, there it is. Yeah, Dune, Frank Herbert, 1965. Jesus Christ.
That's old. But to be fair, he's the father of, like, look, Tolkien is the father of modern fantasy. And while both science fantasies and or just regular fantasy is basically the same thing because they both have magic. It's just technology is the other magic.
Now that too, I have only actually read through the first in the book of them, the 1965 one. And I don't really think you need many of the others, honestly.
That intro was what got me interested in Warhammer Fantasy, by the way. It was so fucking cool.
Dune is good shit. There's some good stuff there.
Dune is.
And the movie wasn't bad. It was just it assumed you knew what Dune was, and that makes sense to a degree, but it also really underbuilt a lot of the tension because in the book they make it clear that the Harkonnens are probably going to betray you. Yes, the Emperor is probably going to betray them as well, but it's all speculation and political maneuvering and stuff. In the movie, they just flat out tell you, like, oh yeah, no, they're definitely going to betray us, and they still take no countermeasures, really. They still don't like have a standing armed garrison. They still don't have active patrols. They just get killed. In the books, it's not guaranteed at all that they will be betrayed, and the reason that really screws them over is because they were betrayed from the inside, and it's a whole big deal what the Doctor does. Whilst in the movie, it's like a side plot. It's just you're told, I turned off the shields. Okay. What does that do? We didn't even know there were shields until you told us you turned them off.
Yeah. Because the whole thing about the shields is super important, because that's what basically is their personal defense. That's what makes it difficult to attack in Dune. Because with personal force fielding, like, attacking the defender is going to be a nightmare.
Dune. Lupu says, does this mean Karakawa will adapt Wuxia instead of Isekai? You know what? I wouldn't even necessarily mind it. There are some kind of cool Chinese stories. Like the Chinese are pumping out the manga or the is that manhwa is Korean. The Chinese have like their own little variant of it too. And you can tell immediately because it's very specific. Like they have some heavy censorship in China. Like you can't have panty shots, for example. You can't have that, which is a staple of anime and manga. Can't have it in China. No, panties dirty.
Panties are dirty.
But I wouldn't mind some adoptions either. Like hell, Chinese entertainment. Fun is fun. I see Kyle's getting me a series of copyright strikes again with showing cinematics.
Firstly, it's not a copyright strike because it's on YouTube already. Thing is, that was a pretty cool intro.
The 2 missing Primarchs were raised for sleeping with the Emperor's wife. Makes sense.
Nice.
There's no other commentary that is required there. It's just like, just accept it. It's fine. Neoth. Nobody likes him. The Goof 171, Big Book of Grudges time. Everyone post your most current grudge in chat. That Mark of Chaos cinematic was absolutely brilliant, though. Too bad the game was very meh, but...
The game was meh, but honestly, the game has more soul than Total War Warhammer has. Not that that's hard.
It does in many ways. Blood Tester. It's an evil cow demon.
Moo. That was super cool. I remember getting that for PC and then getting the expansion for my Xbox 360 because the game by that point was so obscure that it wasn't selling very well. And then GOG finally released it with the gold edition, which was quite nice.
And then it was still so obscure, it didn't sell very well.
It's not a very good game, but it's still better than Total War Warhammer. It's actually got a good story. Well, a fun story, engaging enough.
Now, with all of that being said, I will wrap it up for today. So, again, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all again next time soon. Bear in mind, there's the whole time changey nonsense now going on, so God knows when you'll see this next, but daylight saving things will happen at some point, and things will occur. There'll be probably reminders as usual if YouTube bothers putting them up. So, until next time, have a good day.
Wait a minute.